Your exam 3 is a course project worth 100 points. It's broken into 4 pieces, 4 deliverables, okay? So first deliverable, which is, you already have this deliverable 1, is worth the first 15 points. You're gonna have to complete, you have to complete that worksheet, and you have to demonstrate how to create an appropriate title, state the question using a complete sentence, identify the population in the sample, right? That's pretty easy, okay? Oh, by the way, the course project has something to do with the website, okay? The Price is Right website, which is why I brought it up, okay? So what you have to do is you have to go to any one of these seasons, any one of them. I would recommend the more latter seasons because there's more juicy data, you see what I'm saying, than the previous seasons. So go to any season of your choice, okay? And find a data set, find any set of data, so like for example, season 49, hypothetical. Oh, that's me, okay. All right. But I didn't choose it because of me, I chose it because I just happened to pick one. So you could put any, let's say daily totals. See, there's nice juicy data. We've been playing with like this type of data in the lecture. But you don't have to use that data set. You could do game stats. You see what I'm saying? Whatever you choose. You could do multiple. You could do like multiple seasons, but for one particular pricing game or something. Or you just need to make a data set where you're pulling the data from this website. Is everybody with me so far? It could be daily totals data. It could be like, down here, it has a breakdown of weekly data. You see what I'm saying? Which your homework. I pulled that data from like this website. Is everybody with me? So you can play with these websites. Pick a season, multiple seasons. Pick a particular pricing game. Whatever you want to do, just make a data set. Okay. That data set, you have to move it into StatCrunch. You can either like type it in Excel and then transfer it, or you can do what we did like at the beginning of the semester. You can copy and try to paste it, you see what I'm saying, in Excel, and then from Excel into StatCrunch, whatever you want to do. Now, your data has to have at least, hear me out, it has to have at least 35 rows. Is everybody with me? At least 35 rows in StatCrunch. Okay, so you want to make a note of that. It has to be you have to make at least 35 rows of data. All right, and then if you want advice on on your data set, you can always come and talk to me about that. Okay, but again, the data has to be scraped from this website. Okay. All right. What's the next thing? So let me go back to Rubik. So you got one worksheet for deliverable 1 where you have to demonstrate these objectives, 5 points each. The second one is the methodology, 25 points, 5 points you have to just tell me what's the data collection method. Everybody's gonna have the same answer for this because we all pulling from that Price is Right data, right? And we know data collection methods. Remember, it's published source, well-designed experiment, observational study, and survey, right? Obviously, we are pulling from the website, so it's what? Published source, right? So everybody should say that, okay? And then, of course, the data source, you just tell me the website, for example. You just give me the address of the website. So everybody's going to have the same answer for this, right? But now, this is where everybody will be deviating depending on your project. You have to tell me, the name of each variable that you're going to create or pull, the type of the data, the type of variable, is it qualitative or quantitative? And then give me a description, okay? Now, all of that is in deliverable 2. And then you got to give me an example of what your data set's going to look like, okay? Then also for this one, when you tell me what variables you're going to use, let me know if you're going to be creating or recoding this variable. I'm going to recode it and create my new variable called this. You see what I'm saying? You're allowed to do that. You can recode variables if you need to. But Nonetheless, tell me all the variables that are involved in your data set, and then you have to give me an example of what your data set will look like and what are examples of values that you might see in that data set. That's all in deliverable 2, okay? Deliverable 3 is where you're going to do your descriptive statistics. You're going to have to create at least 2 graphs using those variables in your data set. And then and when you make those graphs, you have to tell me if there's any unique or pattern or any interesting patterns or unique observations that stand out in the data set. And then you got to calculate any statistics that summarize it. Like, you don't have to calculate several statistics. You just got to calculate at least one statistic for each variable. Okay, so for every variable in your data set. Okay. And then that's 30 points. And then the last 30 points is what we're covering right now. Then you have to perform the 5 parts of it. You have to pick only one of the hypothesis tests that we're going to be covering until now to the end of the semester. All you have to do is pick one of those hypothesis tests that best help answer your research question. Do that hypothesis test, show all the 5 parts, and then this one, perform any post hoc analysis. Which means, remember, post hoc analysis is what do you do afterwards if you end up rejecting a null hypothesis, right? Like, what further investigation can you perform with the data, okay? So sometimes that's a confidence interval. It might be like a different type of hypothesis test, whatever. But whatever, like, what extra analysis can you show to dig deep one more time in your data to bring some more insight to the research question that you're doing? All of that adds up to 100 points, okay? So again, you got each worksheet covers each of these deliverables. What else? If you happen to lose your deliverable, I'm gonna keep these in here, but let's say you're away from class and you lose one of the worksheets and you wanna look at it really quick. I've already uploaded them to the Canvas site. It's up under week number 11. It's up under this week's module. So you go there, you can find these worksheets as well as the rubric. Again, the worksheets can be submitted one at a time at different time points, or you can submit them all at the end. Is everybody with me? But this assignment, all 4 deliverables, are due by, let's say that date together, December 9th at 6 p.m. At the start of class, I'm going to collect them. Not you come in late and I'm going to collect them. Not at the end of class, I'm going to collect them. At 6:00, I'm going to collect all of these deliverables. Is everybody with me? My recommendation, once again, is to submit the first one, then submit the second one, like sparse it out. Is everybody with me so far? All right. So like if you were to like sparse it out and then on December 9th you give me the last one, I'll be like, okay, they sparse it out. They're working on the intro. You try to turn them all in at once on December 9th, I'm going to give you the side eye. Because I'll be like, were you waiting until the last second? So sparse it out. The first 3 you can do right now, okay? Y'all should be able to do that right now because we covered like how to set up, how to pull data and how to you can make a clever title. You didn't, on your own, if you're in a group, you can do that on your own. And then tell me the purpose of your study and all. You can do all that. The descriptive statistics we covered, how to make graphs, we already covered that. And you got to do it in StatCrunch, okay? All of this has to be done in StatCrunch, all right? So only one person will turn it in for your group. Is everybody with me? So don't give me 3, like 3 people in your group, don't give me 3 of the same thing, okay? You can only make 1 submission, so once you submit, it's done, okay? It's done. Please make sure that you use a pencil. Please make sure, do not put scratch marks. If you give me scratch marks, I'm gonna take out points. Because you are turning in now professional work. Is everybody with me so far? So if you need to erase, get one of those large erasers, erase. Is everybody with me? You're turning in professional work now, okay? And then, again, you can choose to work alone, you can work in pair, or you can work in groups of 3. But once you start, you will stay with that group, or you will stay in that format to complete all 4 dimensions. Is everybody with me? So if you got a group of 3, you stay with those 3 to complete the whole thing. Is everybody with me so far? There's no switching around, all right? At the end, I'm going to ask you to let me know if everybody contributed equally into the project, okay? So if it goes like 3 people, 33%, 33%, 33%, that tells me you worked equally. But if I see 60, 30, 10, we're going to have a problem, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up that grade. I'm going to break up that grade in that distribution. Is everybody with me? So contribute to your group if you're working in groups, okay? Due date is December 9th. There is no extension. I don't care what my dog, no, I don't care. I don't even care you had pneumonia. You better turn in this assignment. Is everybody with me? No excuse, because you got until the second to the last day of class. I don't want to hear any excuses, okay? So if you're in a group, if you happen to get sick, you're like, can y'all hold it down for me? You see what I'm saying? So, but it's all due December 9th. Any questions so far? All right, now I'm going to show you the first deliverable. We're not going to go over every deliverable, but I'm going to cover the first one. And as we have class, I'll cover the next dimension worksheet, the next one, and the next one, okay? So let me show you the first one. Here it is. So the first one, just give me a title. No more, a maximum of 10 words. No more than 10 words in that title. Is everybody with me? All right. State the question using a complete sentence. So I want to just tell me what is the question you're trying to investigate, okay? And then you have to, after you tell me that question, you have to, below that question, include up to 3 sentences stating why you chose to investigate that question. Don't tell me because I'm trying to do this project and get a name. No. Like, for example, if you were looking at the clock game and you were comparing times between males and females or something, I'm just saying hypothetically. You tell me why you chose that. You don't have to give me exactly 3 sentences. I said include up to 3 sentences. So you can give me the reason why with 1 sentence if you need to, okay? But tell me why you were interested in doing that particular topic. And then tell me the population and the sample. Now, for most of y'all, the population is going to be what? All Price is Right contestants, right? And then the sample is going to be like those contestants that played the clock game. You understand what I'm saying? That could be like yourself. Now, with the sample, if you know how many contestants you're going to be analyzing, you probably want to give that sample size, okay? But if you don't have that information, you can just say the sample is those contestants that played the clock game between season 49 to 53, for example. You see what I'm saying? So, easy 15 points you should be able to get through, all right? Questions so far? And again, if you don't know what your sample size is, you can approximate it. So let's say you're like, I think we're going to end up having looking at 200 clock game contestants. You can say our sample, and then you can say is approximately 200 contestants playing the clock game. All right? I just need to know, do you know the difference between population and sample? Do you know how to write up a question? Can you give me a clever title? Easy 15 points. Is everybody with me? All right. All right, questions so far? Yeah.
The first part is submitted on StatCrunch? Or
deliverable 4. When you said the last part,
no, the first part. This part.
Deliverable 1, you're talking about this last objective of deliverable 1? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Everything is.
No, you're gonna write it on here. You're gonna write it on.
Will we submit it on Canvas, or do we submit it in?
No. If you need an extra copy of this, like if you lose that worksheet and you need another one, and we're not in class, you can go to Canvas.
Okay.
And download another copy. You see what I'm saying? Okay. That's what I meant by Canvas. So.
Okay.
No, you're submitting it here. You're going to give it to me. Yeah. So for this one, yeah, you're gonna write your answers on that worksheet and then you submit it, okay? One person from your group will submit for you. So you'll all put all of your names at the top. Is everybody with me? You'll write your names at the top and then you fill in the worksheet and then you turn it in. Is everybody with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I am gonna go to deliverable 2, okay? At least 1 and 2, okay? Identify the data collection method and the data source. Of course, the data source is what? The TPRIR website. Data collection, we already talked about this, and the data collection method is gonna be public source, right? We already talked about that. So that's, you just write a sentence, say, you know, we use the public source, specifically, we're gonna pull the data from the what? The TPIR stats website, and then you give the web address. State the names, types of variables, list the classes for each qualitative variable. So if you have a qualitative variable, you have to tell me like, what are the possible values? Classes, tell me what are the possible values for that qualitative variable, right? And try not to go past having 5 variables. Is everybody with me? Try to, at the max, use 5 variables. Provide an example of the data set. This is the last part. You're just, once you pull that data and you clean up the data and you finalize what variables you're gonna analyze, like tell me, you'll write the variable names here. Listen carefully, I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna only say this once. You put the name of the variables here, and then each row, then you tell me like what are the first 5 data values in your data set. What's the first 5 data values for that variable? First 5 data values for that variable and so forth. Is everybody with me? All right, and then you turn that in, okay? You don't have to turn in, when you turn this in, you don't have to turn in the data set. You're just you're giving me an idea of what your data set will look like. You see what I'm saying? All right? So I'm just gonna go over those 2 because y'all can start on this right first. You can do those first. And then the next time we meet, we'll go over deliverable 3 and we'll go over deliverable 4. Is everybody with me? Does everybody understand now what we're doing? Okay. Last semester, average score was 90. There was a lot of 100s. I was really impressed. Like last semester, they didn't do prices right. They just had to go to the internet and find their own data. You see what I'm saying? Everybody now, you're going to be pulling from the same website. But you're going to create your own data. Is everybody with me? All right. So this should be an easy A to help push up your grade. Is everybody with me? Now, question is, how many of you want to, okay, here's what we're going to do. How many of you want to work alone? Okay. Isaac, of course. It's Isaac. Okay. So Isaac, okay, you're good. Okay, the rest of you want to work in groups. Okay, you have 6 minutes to make your group. Go.
We made it. We made it.
Okay. I'm giving you 6 minutes. You can
We made our group.
Remember, a maximum of 3 people per group. A maximum of 3. Don't give me no group of 4. Okay? A maximum of 3. You can work in pairs.